Well, good evening. No, evening? Afternoon, whatever. People watch this at different times of the day. Hi, fellow creators. Ben here, and I am packing a painting for shipment, which I need to get to the shipping center before they close in 3 hours. So I've got plenty of time. So I just happened to check my business email about 20 minutes ago and saw, hey, this little painting called Forest of Illusion that I did in 2018 sold off my website. So I'm like, now I gotta ship something I gotta prep something for shipment, otherwise it's not going out till next weekend. So, starting things out by just wrapping it in paper. Wrapping it in wrapping paper. Now, I like to be able to be sure the painting surface itself is protected before it goes into any kind of boxes or anything like that. Actually, I'll put this in here too. Every time I sell something, I print out a little, basically a seller's note. It's like, thank you for purchasing whatever original painting. May this artwork bring you joy as you explore the world that I have created. Remember in your own life to always find new and exciting places to explore, finding new adventures every day. That goes with everything I sell, including prints. And I also say I put in bonus goodies for my stuff. I say, please enjoy these bookmarks and use at your leisure. And then I put the little story of whatever the piece is in that as well. So everyone that buys anything off my website gets all that stuff, plus a card and a sticker. I like to throw in all those extra little goodies for, extra little goodies for people that buy my work. And I'm shipping one out today, which is always fun. So I'm going to take all that, and all this, and all this, and pack it right underneath this with the painting, which I will shove in an envelope and like in advance do like a shipment things. So this goes in here, nice and secure. And luckily this is a nice small piece, so I should be able to shove it in an envelope. I would normally do the regular postal service, but obviously they're closed because it's past noon on a Saturday, so I have to just use a regular big envelope, but that's quite all right. Do that. I'll throw a little extra tape on this to be sure it's nice and secure. Shouldn't really need it, but I like to be safe. Alright, this will also get a fragile handle with care sticker and a do not bend sticker. And I'm going to need to know dimensions for shipping. I figure this is fun. You guys don't get to see this part of this process often. All right, 13.5 by 13.5 roughly. Cool. Let me write this down. That is probably about 1 inch thick. And we weigh it. It is 12 ounces, 11.9, so we'll round it up to 12. Okay, go make myself a shipping label. So FedEx's website decided to be a complete bitch and not want to process anything whatsoever. So just go to regular post office and folded it. And but now I have to remeasure because of course I do. So my dimensions have changed. Now it's 8 by 13 and like 1.5 inches. Well, the good news is the postal service is much cheaper than FedEx. The bad news is I can't ship it out until Monday. But since I was able to fold this over, it's going to fit in my mailbox, so I don't have to worry about it. It's actually rather exciting to see something selling off my website, since not a lot does these days. But, you know, every little bit helps. Gives me a little more motivation to list some more paintings there as well. This was a pretty old one, but happy to have it heading out to its new home in Kentucky. So with that painting waiting in my mailbox for pickup and the inventory list updated, I can add... Actually, this map doesn't show where the right part of Kentucky is. I need to look at an actual map here. Right about here. That's my first Kentucky. That's an exciting thing to see. So it has been roughly 2 weeks since my last recorded segment. I can't remember how much stuff I talked about last time. But since then, I have had to deal with a really nasty head cold, which reared its ugly head at my sinuses between Monday and Tuesday. And the past couple of days have been not great. So, if I sound a little different or off or raspy or nasally, that's why. I'm mostly over it, but at this point now I'm in the coughing shit up stage. For the past couple of days, actually have been even worse to some degree, I think, though, because it was congested the first couple of days, and then for the next couple, it was like one side was congested, and the other side was so clear that it burns like fire. So I'm kind of coffee today. I don't want to talk a ton, because if I do, it might make it worse. Also, my neighbors were up arguing last night at until 2:30 in the morning, so I didn't get a ton of sleep, and it's now 11:30, so I'm trying to get this painting done. Actually, it is done at this point now. The show for this is at the end of the month, and I'm like, before I record, before I do anything else today, I have to get this painting done. So it is now done. A lot of glare here. I'm trying to offset that, but that's probably the best I'm going to get on this angle. So this is real dark on this side, but if you look real close, there's all kind of little craggly brushwork with a liner brush. And then this side's a lot, obviously a lot brighter, a lot more simple. I've been dreading working on this. It's been harder and harder, not only because of when I started the piece to when I'm now finishing it, but also per the last couple of vlogs, this piece has been reliant on my old techniques, which has made this kind of a pain to work on, because now it's I'm have to basically think backwards, and it's not exciting for me to do, at least not to the degree that it was when I was working on it to start. And it's just I don't want to do these old techniques, they're boring. But yay, I'm done now. I could finesse this a lot longer, but I really don't want to. Okay. Signature is done. I can clear coat this thing. Hopefully, if I have any clear... Oh, crap, I'm out of gloss. It's going to be a hardware store trip today, which is I needed to do anyway. Got some more free stuff at work I can show you guys. So they were throwing frames away at work, and my boss was like, hey, I know you like to pick up stuff when we're throwing stuff away. There's a bunch of frames. You should go look for them. Look at them and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. So I got these ginormous picture frames that I really need to find a place for down here now. There's two huge ones. There's a really big 3-foot square. And all of these are heavy duty, nice custom frames. And it's yeah, those are probably $400 or $500 frames. Of course I'm gonna pick some up. Then there were some regular long ones. And the mat I won't need, because it's separated from pictures, but this then becomes a really nice long frame for either this way or that way, But it's got a nice wide one there. A couple of these more smaller wood ones, so I'm excited to have those. There were also these canvas prints. My company did this thing where it was send HR, a picture of your pet, and they made a big mosaic thing to put them in the break rooms. And at first I was like, oh, this is good. I can just unstretch them and reuse the bars. Because this is that vinyl canvas that they use in print shops. And then after I took it off one of them and looked at this and like looked down the end of that, it's like, this thing is warped as hell. I cannot reuse this. I'm going to cut it up and throw it away. So interestingly, what I thought was going to be the stuff I wouldn't use, which is the vinyl canvas, I actually probably will get only the use out of the vinyl canvas, but unstretched, of course. But yeah, that's why canvases are like kiln-dried wood, because this stuff is like composite material, and it's awful. I had gotten myself started with another one of those 12 by 36s, because the last piece I finished that I had the paper thing going on with that, I'm like, I'm going to do another one of these, but horizontally, since that seems to be where the focus is currently for the brain chaos that's happening in my head. And at this point, until the rest of my head cold clears up, I'm not going to record any major art videos, because I really want to have a nice clear voice for that. I'm like, it's really taking a lot out of me right now just to try to sound coherent and not cough a bunch. I gotta clean that water. Per the previous vlog and sort of my, YouTube coming out or whatever, I've actually noticed that the channel has, the first time in ever, I actually saw my subscriber count go down, not by a lot. I'm like, oh good, let's clear out the homophobes, But this whole the summer has kind of been slow for viewership, because it's summer, people are doing stuff and going on vacations, and that's normal. But it was like oddly slower than usual. And then that happened. I'm like, yeah, well, calculated risk, But I'm still happy I did that, and it's mentally for me been better. Minus, a terrible head cold, which has made me feel completely miserable. And you guys have been really supportive from that, and I was really surprised how much overall support I got from you guys just from making that, and that was really cool to see. So thank you. But I've got a few things now, sort of few show type things coming up for this month, and things I need to take care of. Most notably was getting that other painting done, because I'm like, if I can't get this done, knowing me, it'll never get done. So I woke up and I'm like, no matter what I do today, that has to be the first thing, so I can clear my head up to other projects and get back to working on the big space painting as well, which I've been staring at all week, being like, I want to work on this, but I have to finish this other thing first. And part I've noticed in this shift in my work is not only the mental side of it, but in doing so, I've found myself just like really being drawn to just use more of my materials. Like for a long time, I've kind of been treating things like really delicately and preciously, and the last piece that I had finished, that piece was when I just like squeeze paint out of tubes, use my hands, just throw tons of thick media out there. And I haven't done that in so long, because it was this matter of like, this, and I don't want to use this stuff because it's expensive, and I have that problem with everybody else does, really. And it's so freeing to just be like, screw it, I have this studio of art supplies, use it, use the stuff, use a bunch of the stuff. Don't be like, a little bit here, a little bit there. It's like, no, use it. If you're going to get your ideas out, throw that media on the canvas, like go crazy. And it's been so freeing in doing that. In addition, I gotta watch my time a little bit. This is my final weekend for using my my charcoal smoker, which I bought back in May. I'm like, I've got just enough charcoal left in this bag for one more smoke. So I got a little pork roast that's like this big, that's sitting upstairs with a spice rub on it, getting all lovely. But it's going to take me like an hour to get the charcoal started, and then once I do, it's also like, okay, now I got to babysit this at least for the first little bit while, you know, adding the wood and getting things going. I actually saw this. I think it was on Instagram, but it was like mid to late 30s starter pack, and it was like, which of these three or four like new hobbies have you picked up lately? And one of them was smoking meats. And I'm like, oh, guilty. I feel so attacked. You've noticed that the world knows that I'm smoking meats because I've hit a certain age. But to be fair, I've wanted to do that forever anyway. It happened to work out this year that like I could pick the smoker up and start doing that. Despite the head cold, again, I am feeling much better. Every now and then I'll just hack up a bunch and dry heave a little bit, but after that it's like, okay, we're good. I had my little, you know, hour hacking session. Now we're good again. But, so yeah, and I actually, in doing this too, I realized that I'm like using the gel and spreading this down. So I opted to replace my golden soft gel, the gloss soft gel, with a semi-gloss gel. And I think I like it better than the gloss gel. It's the overall semi-gloss sheen when it dries is really nice. And I think it's actually better for mixed media projects. And it feels good. Like, it's funny, like I was saying, like, don't rely on old techniques, but this paper thing that I'm doing is actually a very old technique that I haven't done much of since like college. But it's a lot more fun. So like I can prep this piece and throw it in the corner and then get back to that piece I'm doing in the big piece I'm doing in oils. Likely we'll do this afternoon while the smoker's running. Between that and like the 4 other house projects I've got going on this weekend. But yeah, so if you haven't been able to tell, since the, you know, controversial video that dipped my subscriber count, I am doing better, mentally, mostly. I mean, obviously I won't be able to, not totally mentally better, but better than I was. And I'm still working through a lot of stuff, deconstructing childhood memories and feeding that into my motivations for painting right now. But it has been helping considerably, and I didn't really get to paint last weekend too, so I'm also like extra concentratingly working on stuff now because I need it. Painting has always kind of been its own therapy for me. Like I need to be able to work on stuff, and if I can't, I get caught up in my own head too much, and it's bad for everybody. Okay, I'm starting to ramble a bit here. I should probably call this a vlog. Thank you everyone again for all of your support in the past couple of weeks with everything that's been going on. Hopefully I will be able to record a regular art video next week if my sinuses are doing better. Based on everything that has kind of happened so far in terms of my getting better and over this cold. It probably shouldn't take any more than a week. On the off chance that it does, though, I will have, I don't know, something other than the art video to have. I have a big double review that I brought up a couple weeks ago, and have not really had time to mess with it, primarily due to other factors, including but not limited to a head cold. A lot of other stuff that's been on my mind anyway. Okay, that's another weird thing that, like, again, like, all these shifts in my work and my process where it's like, it was always like weekends only, basically, for a lot of my art stuff. And now I'm like almost more than compelled to work on weekday nights more often now. It's just like I come home from work and I'm like, I have to get in the studio. Been reinvigorated with a lot of my artistic musings and things, and it's been good, but it's also been a challenge because it seems like it's either I'm either in a really good mood for painting or I just want to sit and not do anything. So it's tough, but I'm sure you guys at least have some experience on that. I was getting Instagram messages from this kid in India earlier this week, and it was like, "We just like work and do stuff every day," and I'm like, "No, it's. I mean, I recommend it like for young artists to like draw every day and do that stuff, but at a certain point, you just burn yourself out. So it's like you gotta find that balance for yourself, and this year's been a lot about finding that balance for myself again." With so many weird changes and everything. Okay. For real this time. Thanks guys for watching. Keep on creating. Stay inspired. And I'll see you guys next time.